And so I ask you again, Sir Duncan, how good a knight are you, truly? Hello, Wanderers. Welcome to a long-anticipated and long-awaited return to the Game of Thrones mod for Crusader Kings 3 with our newest series, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. And who is our mystery knight? Who is the character that we will be playing as in this series? Who is behind the mask? Well, it is none other than Sir Duncan. But not the Sir Duncan you might be expecting. Indeed, this is Sir Duncan the Small, the Prince of Dragonflies. And why are we playing as Sir Duncan the Small? And what is this scenario that he finds himself in? Well, why don't we just take a look? And as you will see, the Seven Kingdoms is looking quite shattered. And I will explain this scenario here in as much detail, but as quickly as possible. This is a scenario that I believe is at least somewhat plausible, though perhaps a little bit less so than some other series we have done, like the one in which Robert was in exile. But in this series, we imagine a divergence from canon that places the fourth Blackfyre rebellion, rather than being 3 years before the Laughing Storms rebellion, it places them happening at very nearly the same time. So in this timeline, Sir Duncan the Small, indeed, just as he does in canon, breaks his betrothal to Lady Cassandra of the Stormlands in favor of the commoner Jenny of Oldstones, thus sparking the Laughing Storms Rebellion. And Sir Duncan the Tall, the great knight, a knight of the Seven Kingdoms, as you well know him, is sent with some of the king's army to confront the Laughing Storm, Sir Lionel Baratheon, or Lord Lionel Baratheon, or King Lionel Baratheon, as he would be calling himself. He was sent out to confront him, just as he does in canon. And in canon, Sir Duncan fights Lord Lionel in single combat, defeats him, and thus ends the Laughing Storms Rebellion. But what if it was at this time, just as Sir Duncan is riding out to meet the host of the Stormlands, that Daemon the Third of House Blackfyre, crowned as king by Aegor Bittersteel, lands in Massey's Hook, as he does in canon 3 years earlier. But now the king's army is split, and Sir Duncan the Tall is not there, because it was Sir Duncan the Tall who kills Daemon the Third and thus ends that fourth Blackfyre rebellion very quickly. Well, in this scenario, Sir Duncan the Tall isn't there. Aegon V rides out as he does in canon to meet the Blackfyre house, and along with him comes his son Sir Duncan, though he leaves his other children behind. And that is what causes tragedy to fall, for not only is the split forces of the king somewhat weakened, though obviously still enough to defeat or at least give a good battle to the Golden Company with their little support that they have in Westeros, but it is in an ambush that Aegon V, whom I'm sure all of you know from the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms series, he is captured by Daemon III and executed. But even worse than that, Meleys the Monstrous, whom I'm sure you all know, the Blackfyre, Meleys, famed for his single combat duel where Barristan Selmy made a name for himself by slaying that Blackfyre rebel or pretender, much advanced from this timeline. But a young Meleys the Monstrous goes to Dragonstone and is able to break into Dragonstone, and he captures the children of Aegon V, and he slaughters them. And so that is why you see that all of the family of Sir Duncan the Small are dead. So his sisters, his brothers, all killed by Meleys the Monstrous, as you can see here, and his own father executed by King Daemon the Third, King for a Day, as he is known. And I'll continue along with the story here, though there are already obviously quite a few divergences. Well, what happens after that? Well, Sir Duncan here is manages to escape the Blackfyre ambush that ends with his father's capture. And as he is, he essentially disappears for some time, attempting to gather up with loyalists or, to return home to get to his family. It's at this time that Sir Duncan the Tall, a knight of the Kingsguard, has to hears about the Blackfyre landing, hears about Aegon riding out to meet the Blackfyres, so he turns back from Sir Lionel's gosh, I'm getting them all confused. Lord Lionel's army in the Stormlands. He rides out to go back to his friend Aegon to back him up, but he is too late, obviously, only to find that Aegon is already dead. Well, what happens when Daemon the Third is named King of the Seven Kingdoms after the capture of King's Landing? Well, Meleys the Monstrous brings him the heads of the Targaryen children, and Daemon the Third is not too pleased with it. And if we take a look here, we can see Daemon the Third, the king for a day, and that is because when confronted with the dead Targaryen children, he demands that Meleys face justice. But Meleys the Monstrous, well, as you can imagine, in canon slays another Daemon, but in this canon, Meleys the Monstrous kills Daemon there and then, thus ending his very short reign. And it is Meleys the Monstrous who names himself King of the Seven Kingdoms, although in this moment, really he only rules King's Landing. King Aemon Blackfyre, the brother of Daemon, also now claiming to be king as well, has the support of some of these Blackfyre vassals who joined after the capture of King Aegon. So I know that was all convoluted, but basically, after all this went down, there are no real Targaryens to rally behind except for one, the cousin of us here, and I believe it is the son of it's one of Aeryn's sons. So if we go over here and we look at Aeryn, Bright Flame, we can see he had a legitimate son, Prince Maegor. Well, Prince Maegor is was quietly smuggled out of the kingdoms on somebody's orders to essentially be used against them at some point. And so there is no real Targaryen to rally behind other than Sir Duncan. But what happened to Sir Duncan? Well, he was forced to go into hiding because of the Blackfyre forces. And, well, he had already abdicated the throne. And so this is where I think the story becomes a little less plausible. But in this story, I'm imagining that rather than simply pushing his claim to the throne and rallying the lords behind him, Sir Duncan decides to take on the role of a true knight defending the realm. He saw not only his family killed, but all of their lords and loyal vassals abandon them. And so he was somewhat disinclined to rally the forces and reclaim his birthright. Rather than that, He saw the hardships befalling the people, the common people of the Seven Kingdoms, and he decided to become a knight that would defend them. And so that is where we find ourselves. But it is at that time that the familiar Sir Duncan the Tall finds him. And although Sir Duncan urges urges the Prince of Dragonflies to reclaim his right, Prince refuses and says that he will remain as a knight protecting the common folk. And that's essentially where we find ourselves. So anyways, I probably didn't do the best job explaining that story, but hopefully you all understand what I'm getting at. The Blackfyre rebellion wipes out the Targaryens. Nobody really truly rallies behind them, and so the Seven Kingdoms break apart under all these various warring lords. You know, you've got the Storm King here, and then various others calling themselves lords or kings or backing the Blackfyres, and chaos reigns, and the Castemirs rise up against the Lannisters, and the North goes off and just does its own thing, and the Crossing, you know, decides to essentially, you know, stop listening to the Tullys. It's just a classic case of the lords of the realm essentially taking their opportunities when they come. And so that's the situation we find ourselves in. Will Sir Duncan reclaim his birthright? Will he lead the Targaryens back to the throne, get revenge for his family? That remains to be seen, but for now, all he cares to do is to be good, a good knight, and protect the innocent as a knight is sworn to do. And so that is exactly what we're going to do. But first, we have to make sure that nobody recognizes us, and that's why we need to put on our helm so that we cannot be seen. For if people know that we are a prince, well, things are certainly going to be a lot more difficult here. It's probably hard to hide somebody like Sir Duncan, but you know, he's another recognizable person, so we'll throw a helmet on him for now as well, just to ensure that we are not discovered here until we are ready. So the hard-working folk of Rushmore are in need of help. The Lord offers kind rewards to altruistic adventurers. Well, we will certainly do so on behalf of the Lord Rushmore here, so that's exactly what we're going to do. We do not have ourselves a caravan master. We have Duncan as our second, but really it's literally just the three of us. It's Sir Duncan, his wife Jenny of Old Stones, and Sir Duncan the Tall. So I don't know. When I was coming up with this scenario, I really loved the idea of playing a story with Sir Duncan the Tall in it because I've been watching A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. But I also really like the idea of playing the Prince of Dragonflies, and I don't know. Is it the most plausible scenario? Maybe not, but I think it's a cool scenario. And so, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to be doing, protecting the innocent as essentially a wandering hedge knight, though a hedge knight of House Targaryen. So yeah, I don't know, kind of interesting. Plus it's our first time playing as a Targaryen, so there's a little bit of danger here as we travel past Seaguard to the province of Moorkeep in order to defend the people. The fields of Wimborne are a sight to behold, every crop in bloom, every leaf green, every stem luscious. I quickly track down the source of the verdancy, spotting a man standing in a field, seemingly holding a lecture of some sort to a gathering of listeners. My name is Master Galbar the Green. He notices me in the distance and turns in my direction. My knowledge of gardening is vast, yes, incomparably vast, so stay a while and listen. Color me intrigued. The Sir doing gardening? I don't think we would stay to watch the Well, we gained down to earth for 10 years. I mean, maybe we would stay to listen. Yeah, at this point, I don't think it's that we're like, we heard some innocents need to be protected here. I think we're literally just wandering the Riverlands because that's where Jenny of Oldstone comes from. So we'll stay. Oh, that's going to cost us prestige, but we'll do it anyways. Oh, and we gained the gardener trait, so interesting, but you know, we'll take it. That's a little bit of a weird one, but you know, it is what it is. We visited Halman's walls, built at the instruction of Lord Halman Malister. The walls of Sealord incorporate the sprawl of a flourishing castle town. Interesting. Well, we passed through Seaguard, but now we find ourselves amid animals, thugs, and ruffians. The mere thought seems enough to disturb Lord Elmo's demeanor. We must ensure their safety indeed. No reason to compromise. We should go with... Oh, actually, you know what? We really don't have enough people to, like, handle this very much. So we're going to get Sir Duncan as some muscle. And I guess our lookout will be our wife, Jenny of Oldstones. And that's literally all we've got. You know, but Sir Duncan as our muscle, well, he might be almost 50 years old, but, you know, if you got Sir Duncan as your muscle, I think you're doing pretty all right there. We're going to need to eventually recruit some new people to our side. As for what we are going to do for our lifestyle, I think we're going to lean towards wandering and go with destination. Every step is a journey. I think that we'll probably want to hit, I think we'll want to go with destination, just because I think that, I don't know, either one is fine, but destination I think is just the martial and the stewardship, and the prestige is just like a little bit better. So I'll make a mechanical decision in this case here. But yeah, that's what we are going to go with there. Do we have ourselves, well, we could search for a maester, but I kind of want to see if we find any maesters among the various channel members, who I'm sure will be cooking up some characters for this series. Can we choose a, what am I doing here? Can we choose a patron aspect? Oh, we've already chosen the father, apparently. I mean, we should go with the warrior, surely. Yeah, protects the faithful with his holy sword, instilling courage, delivering victory. Or the mother. Fertility. No, I think the warrior. Yeah, I think the warrior makes sense. Could be the warrior, could be the mother, you know, protecting the innocent. But yeah, I think that we'll go with the warrior in this case. There we go. Let's let time roll along here. Takes a little bit of time here, but it is what it is. Plenty in common. Life in close quarters tends to magnify relationships, good and bad. Fortunately for Duncan and Jenny, their common interest in remaining caring and empathetic under any circumstance has proven to be a strong bonding agent. The two laughing and joking together at camp, riding alongside one another on the road, is becoming an increasingly common sight. Well, I'm totally fine with that. We can encourage the friendship. Overbearing leader. Oh, okay. Apparently we were being a little bit overbearing, but hey, they became friends anyways. So, I mean, I'm totally fine with that. I do think that maybe, okay, you can all imagine that that we're wearing our helmet, but always cooler to see what your character looks like. So just imagine that we're wearing our helmet most of the time, and yeah, we should also see a good Sir Duncan's face. He doesn't need to hide it from us, the viewers of this series. Anyways, oh, she has lost the trait melancholic. Well, that's good. That is good indeed. I mean, you can imagine that she might have been melancholic considering what has happened to the realm. Scouting out ahead of the camp, I come across a ramshackle collection of traders. They are gathered around some large but old and ruined buildings, the remaining ones in good condition having been occupied by the merchants. Their wares are fairly standard, food mostly, being on a well-traveled road that would no doubt attract many purchasers. Yet my eye is drawn inexorably towards the gray, pockmarked walls of the ruins. So magnificent they are, The merchants occupy merely the outskirts, but its dilapidated heart remains untouched. Let's go and try the runes. I wouldn't mind getting ourselves a weapon. Oh, and we discovered a small trinket. I mean, I'll take a trinket as well. I was hoping for a weapon, but yeah, certainly I'll take a nice little trinket there. All right, let's see. Let us attempt our best to protect the innocent. I think we'll hit this 86 on the next one after that. Oh, and our dear wife Jenny of Old Stones is pregnant. Could make an offering to the mother. We don't have very much money, but we should make an offering anyways. Hopefully we'll get a little bit of money back from this. And there we go. Once we hit this scheme, we'll be maxed out, so there'll be a little bit of risk to it, but we will do our best. Duncan the Tall appreciates the freedom of life on the road. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine that that he might. All right, let us try to seize the moment. 86% chance. Success. 3, 4, and there goes the 5th lynx this morning. All right, we've protected the innocent, apparently accosted by animals and ne'er-do-wells, and we have gone and defended the people. Nice. We make progress towards the captain of the Aurochs decision. Okay. Long path ahead of us. So what are we going to try to do in this series? Well, let's find that out after a night by the campfire. Long after night is settled, I find myself laughing, telling stories, and drinking with my wife Jenny and my friend Duncan. I didn't know she had it in her, but she ends up telling a particularly ribald story about 4 peasants she had seen in Hammerford. Ask Jenny to tell another story? Yeah, certainly, why not? At least even in these trying times, we can you know, find ourselves with at least a moment of laughter here. As we head towards Hammerford, we stop in our tracks for a short break. A few people set off to gather nearby wander. Duncan dips his flask into the water, but quickly pulls back with a yelp. He's been bitten by a snake. He will gain the trait ill. There's a 1% chance that he dies. Maybe somebody in Millmouth can help. Ooh, that's gonna cost. That is going to cost us, but could give him an extra serving of supper. I mean, yeah, if you guys have watched The Night of the Seven Kingdoms, you know that Duncan is always hungry, and he recovers from the venom. Thank goodness. So yeah, let's make ourselves back to where we were going. I think we're just delayed for a little bit here. There we go. So what are we going to try to do? Well, like I said, there will possibly at least come a point where Sir Duncan decides to, you know, unite the realms and get revenge for his family. But like I said, I think at the moment he abdicated the throne. So one, he doesn't believe that he is legitimate for the throne, for he gave it up. And not only that, but I think he's become somewhat disincentivized and disenfranchised by the fact that his family was essentially abandoned by many of its lords and loyal vassals. And so yeah, he's going to just attempt to be a good knight and a good protector. And so I'm hoping that we can maybe pull off the trait here, the captain of the Aurochs, or whatever kind of title it gets. But we've never done this one before, and basically you need to complete 1 out of 10 martial or prowess contracts of no criminal nature. You must have the swords for hire camp purpose. That's a little bit unfortunate, but we can probably switch to that, and we have to have that 4th level of fame. That one's gonna be yeah, a little bit tricky to hit, but we should be able to pull that off. That's kind of what I'm hoping. We haven't really done that too many times. And yeah, basically just going on and doing goodly tasks and stuff, such as a passage of arms. The bridge of Honey Tree remains unprotected. A show of force is necessary to keep the bandits away. We must do what we can to keep the bandits away. So that is exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna go and travel to to defend the people from bandits, and we visit the ruins of old stones, the ruins of the castles of the Mud Kings. Lord Wendell glances down as he makes his way through the camp. All right, so I shall break 300 lances, we say. All right, well, let us break as many lances as it needs. I sit by my pavilion, letting the sounds and smells of the camp. Now, I don't even know if we don't have a pavilion. Much like Sir Duncan the Tall or Sir Dunk in his youth, we probably sleep under a tree. The freedom is easy to enjoy, no obligations. Yeah, I think much like our namesake, we're perhaps not meant towards the life of a royal. Perhaps in some ways we prefer the life we're living now. I enjoy this quiet life. We gain the trait Traveler. Best to keep my options open. No, I think we enjoy the quiet. Well, or do we keep our options open? Flexible leader is not a bad trait to have. But Traveler may... No, I think we're enjoying the quiet life. Yeah, that's what we're going to go with there. Let's throw on Sir Duncan as our muscle and our wife as our lookout once again. And let us protect this bridge. Let us protect the people of Honeytree from the ne'er-do-wells that are just rampaging around the realm. It looks like the Lords of the Crossing have instead sworn fealty to the Lords of House Aaron, which is an interesting turn of events. With a tired yet blissful smile, Jenny presents me with a wonderful daughter, Daerissa Targaryen. Daerissa. I don't know if that's is that the name we want to go with, or is there perhaps a better name? A good name after an ancestor. I mean, if we name our daughter a Targaryen name, people are certainly going to what if... Okay. I mean, apparently we have an ancestor named Willow, probably through our mother from House Blackwood. But what if our daughter was born under a willow tree? Yeah, why not? Willow Targaryen? Not typically a Targaryen name, but honestly, neither is Duncan, so... Yeah, let's go with that. She has the white hair of a Targaryen, so that's interesting enough. Duncan and Jenny are getting along. A place for everything and everything in its place. After you're done here, go help raise my pavilion. Good to see those two getting on. Indeed, it is. Oh no, complications following childbirth. She's become melancholic again. That is a little bit unfortunate, but oh, and there is sickness spreading here as well. We'll need to find ourselves being a little bit careful, and we might need to move our camp at some point, but for now we are just going to continue along. The melancholy is past. She does seem a little bit inclined towards melancholy here. Obviously a canon character, Jenny of Old Stones, most notably known for Jenny Song. She was the wife of Duncan Targaryen, the Prince of Dragonflies. Hey, that's us. Often sporting flowers in her hair, she is a strange yet comely girl who claimed descent from the long-dead kings of the first of men. Foreign fruits. In my wanderings outside of the camp, I come across a clearing in the forest rich with all manner of colorful berries. Life is an adventure even for the stomach. We should... let's try it. And the fruits were delicious. Thank goodness. You don't want to be puking up your guts when you're fighting bandits. All right, there we go. We're maxed out. Let's execute the scheme. Seize the moment. Panting, I tap my horse on the back. Easy now. It's over. Guarding the bridge has become my only task for the past fortnight. Armor shining under the moon. The sea of broken lances that has been pushed to one side is a testament to my performance. Yeah, the people cheer us on. We have a long path ahead of us. There we go. So, yeah, that is essentially what we're going to be doing. Traveling the realm. For now, at least, mostly we'll probably stick in the Riverlands, but we will go where the people need us. and perhaps we will gather a little bit of a following. Will people rally around this mysterious knight? Because they won't know that this is Sir Duncan Targaryen, the Prince Targaryen, at least for a little while. But if they hear word of a hedge knight going around protecting the innocent along with his very capable and very tall bodyguard, well, some people might suspect, but certainly others might just rally around the cause of this this hedge knight, and that is where we shall find ourselves, with a knight of the Seven Kingdoms. So hopefully you find this scenario interesting. I know it's been a little while since I've done one of these series, and so yeah, I mean, it's gonna take a little bit for me to get back into things, but like I said, hopefully you enjoyed. If you've got any thoughts about where this series could go, let me know, and certainly let me know what you think about this scenario. And yeah, keep an eye out for the next episode, for it will be coming. But until then, Wanderers, thank you so much for watching.